Alrighty, so our task for today's studio was to make some changes to our Hello Spring application here. In the prep work, you had it set up like this, where you type in somebody's name, you say greet me, and it says hello. What we want to do is make this a little bit more versatile and present a list of languages here so we can greet people in various languages. So that's our goal. So first things first, we need to set up a form with a drop-down box to list the possible languages available. We've done this before. I gotta be honest with you that I don't really remember the syntax for doing that stuff either. So if you had to brush up on how to use a select tag, there's no shame in that. I would have to as well. And so we can see, they give us a thing here. So let's go ahead and just copy this actually and paste it in the code, because that'll save us a little bit of time, perhaps. Let's see, we want it to go in between the text box and the button based on the image, correct? Yeah, in between the text box and the button. So if I go in between the text box and the button, it might go something like that. We only need 5 options, so we can get rid of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, well, it's only 6, so. Why is IntelliJ mad at me right now? What's the quotes? Yeah, I'm missing a lot of quotes, right? May have been the downfall of my copy-paste plan. And then actually, once I put quotes in, I have other problems. What problems do I have now? I need concatenation, but that's still not going to solve all. Whoops.
So we copy and pasted the website use double quotes as well. So
yeah.
We get like a double use of double quotes.
Yeah. So we can use single quotes here. So actually, copy pasting seems like it might have caused me more harm than good. But I'm already this far. I'm not going to give up on it now. We're gonna stick it out. Even though it might take a little bit of work. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, I missed this one down here. What's up?
I just saw you highlight multiple lines and all lines.
Yeah. Highlight and hit tab all day.
Okay, so what about if you want to go the other direction?
Shift tab.
Oh shit. Not delete, because
Not delete, no. Yeah, that's the nice thing about IntelliJ and what a good code editor will do for you. If I did this in like Microsoft Word, what would it do? It would replace this entire block of text with a tab, which is not what we want. We want it to indent, so be careful about that if you're doing it with other applications. I've done that in Microsoft Word, expecting it to do what I want, and then been very disappointed, so yeah. So let's go ahead and finish fixing up these quotes here. I'm almost done. I now have to choose the languages that I want. So English, and make sure that these match, right? English, speak cat. All right, I'll leave that one the same. French. Oh, my concatenation, thank you. I forgot a whole bunch of plus signs as well, didn't I? Thank you. It's getting there. All right, cool, yeah. No more errors. We just need to finish up the languages. Spanish, we can do, I need one more. What's another good one? Italian? Okay. All right. That's 5, right? Yeah, it is. So it's not going to work, obviously, but I can still save it and make sure that the box appears on the page the way that I expect it to. Oh, wait, this shouldn't be pet select either. This should be language, probably. All right. I can still check it and make sure that, so unfortunately, looks like I got to restart my thing first. That's a little bit annoying, but go ahead and do that, just so I can make sure that this box is popping up appropriately, and then we can get back to work on the implementation of this. For those of you watching on YouTube later, we're having a very spirited conversation about this studio right now. Okay, looks like it's running. And all right, there's my drop-down box, and the values are all there. But it still doesn't work, right? I can type my name in, and it's still, well, actually that one works because I had it set as hello before. But if I select a different language, it's just going to say hello every time, which is not what we want. We actually want it to say hello in the proper language. So that's our next step. So where am I going to go in the code to make that happen? Where am I going? What's the form telling us? The form tells us where we're going, right? So it says the method is post. There is no action. So if there's no action, where am I going? Same page, right? So I'm looking for a route that says hello, but just uses a post method, which actually we have one. It's right down here, right? This is another method from the prep work. We just need to change it to make it reflect that we've got a different language now. And so what the instructions tell us to do is actually to make another method called create message. Yeah, called create message that takes in a name as well as a language and then constructs the appropriate greeting based on that information. So let's go ahead and create that next. And then we'll come back to our post request. I'm gonna go ahead and create a public static. What's the return type gonna be? String. Create message. And then I have two parameters, right? What is it? A name and a language. So how do I add those in here? What do I need to say? The types, which they're both gonna be strings. So string, name, string, language. Oops. Okay, and now I just need to decide how to construct this message. So I need to look at the language and construct the appropriate message, right? So what construct am I going to use? Yeah, if statement. So if language equals English. It's not going to work. Why not? Well, I think a lot of people ran into this problem. It's actually a good thing to be aware of. When I say double equals, what am I actually doing? Comparing what, though? I'm comparing references. I'm comparing by reference. So what that means is that if both of these things, if the thing on the left and the thing on the right are pointing at the exact same object, this is true. But if they're not pointing at the exact same object, this is going to be false. Meaning that if I have two strings that both say English, right? They both say English, but they're different. They're two separate strings, that's going to be false. If I actually want to compare the values, the contents, how do I do that? Yeah, so how do I do that then? It's not dot equals, yeah, it's dot equals. This is a common trap that happens in Java. Actually, I think I might have made that lowercase. I did, I made it lowercase, yeah. Thank you. All right. And so if I get here, what do I want to do? I want to, I'm sorry? Return. Yeah, I can just return. I'm done. I know what I need. So return hello plus name. Now I just need to do this 4 more times, right? For the other languages. So I will copy paste. All right, 3, 4, 5. All right, cool. So cat, meow, or what did I do? French. I know I did French, which would be bonjour, and I did Spanish, which is hola, and I did Italian, which is what? Ciao? Oh, okay. Ciao. I would have had to look up Italian. I don't, yeah. But that's all right. It makes sense now that you say it. I just didn't know it. IntelliJ's mad at me. Why? says missing return statement. That seems odd. I've got a lot of return statements. Yeah. Yeah, that's exactly it. I told it that I was going to return a string, and I need to make sure that no matter what happens in this method, I return a string, period, right? And so it's looking at this and saying, well, this if statement could fail, and this one could fail, and this one could fail, and they could all fail, right? If the language is some weird value, they could all fail, and then I'm not returning anything in that case. So how do I fix that? I'm sorry? A null? So I could return a null down here at the bottom. That's a little unsatisfying. I'd like to return something, yeah. Yeah, so if the first four fail, then I'm assuming it must be Italian, right? Because that's the only one that's left. So I don't need this if statement. I can just take it out. And then that way it's guaranteed to hit at least one of the return statements. I do still have a problem, right? Where if I type in garbage, like if I gave you German somehow, it's going to return Italian, right? I don't expect that to happen. That's not a situation that I expect to happen, but you know, if it could happen, and if it did, it would return Italian, which would be a little bit confusing. But it's confusing that you gave me German in the first place because I wasn't expecting that. So that's sort of a talk for another day, I suppose. The last thing that we need to do is fix up our handler here for the post request. So you see now it says return hello plus name. What do I want to do instead? I need to get the message, so I need to call this method. I need to call this method, which I can do. I could say create message, name. Oh, but wait, I haven't gotten the language yet. How do I do that? Same way as the name. Let's do that. Stick that in there, switch that to say language, switch that to say language. Now I've got variable there. So this will look at these values, create the appropriate message, and use that. I think we're good. We're at least ready to test it. Yeah. Yeah. Ah, yeah. So I could just switch this. I don't need the ID, I don't think. But it is looking for name, you're correct. That's how it looks up parameters, is by name, not by ID. All right, let's give it a try. I gotta stop it and restart it. To the Java, yes, but we're about to introduce views and models in the coming weeks, and you don't need to restart if you make changes to those things. They'll update automatically. Just the Java that you have to restart. All right, I think it's going. So I'm gonna go back to my page here, and I'm gonna, all right, so there's my box, and I'll type in my name again, and then we'll select a cat, and hey, cool. That one works, but you know, we should test out some of the other ones too, just to make sure. Hola, ciao. English should still work, yeah, okay. French, I think, is the only one. Yeah, but again, so this is kind of a reminder. We saw this before in Unit 2, right? But if I am feeling a little crafty, I can open up the developer tools and go into my form here and swap one of these out to say something different, like German. Actually, it could even say Italian, but I just changed the value to be German, right? Or I can make it say German too if I want to. Doesn't really matter. And so now, if I select that one, oh, it says German, but I still get Italian back. So what happens, it passed it in, and it didn't find a match, so it just returned Italian, because that's what I told it to do. If we wanted to, we could, you know, make that a little bit more self-explanatory as well by, instead of just defaulting to Italian, we could, oops, oh, shoot, I hit Control Z, but that didn't work. We could put the if statement back with our Italian. Italian. And then if it fails, we'll just return some kind of an error message like, you know, I don't speak language. Right? So you asked me a language that I very explicitly told you I did not know how to speak, or was not an option presented to you, and that's a little bit more of an effective message than displaying something that is not quite correct when somebody goes in and does something like that. And so we can verify that works real quick. Are there any questions while we're waiting on Spring Boot to do stuff? Yes. Oh, this value here is what I'm matching up with the values for my option tags. Okay, so when I have these option tags, and then later on down here I say request parameter language, it's going to look at the option tag that was selected and give me whatever value is currently for that selected option tag. I think this is loaded up, so I can do my thing one more time. Dog. Right? And so, oh, what happened to my drop-down menu? Did I break it? I must have broke it. I Control Z'd one time too many. What did I do? Oh, I deleted my select tag. What? Oh no. That's not good. How did that happen? Wow. I'll have to go back and watch the video. I'm not going to do that. Name equals. Well, it's late and you guys are getting tired, I'm sure, so we don't need to sit around and watch me fiddle with the HTML. You can take my word that it works the way that I wanted to. I'm not going to make you sit around 5 more minutes for a bad joke, so unless there are any questions, I'll see you guys on Thursday. Have a good week, everybody.